that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, guys. Hello. Hello. It is Sunday night, and we're going to have some dogs come and join us. It's Sunday night, and we have Sunday night chats with Sara. And as I said, special guest. You guys probably remember my brother, Sean. He is joining me because I am currently at his house in Arizona. I was here for that conference I was talking about last week, where we received a grant to provide more services through Looking Forward Life Coaching. So, Sean says that he's willing to give a little bit of info. I'm going to work on getting these dogs somewhere while you fill people in.
Hey, everybody. So, the topic that I want to talk about today with Sara, when she comes back after getting the dogs out of the way, is about transitions in life. And sometimes the hardest parts of our life are when we have to make any kind of a life transition. And so thinking about different life transitions is essential because in those moments is where we struggle with our emotions, we struggle with our purpose, we struggle with where we want to be in those areas. So, welcome back.
Hi, I'm back.
So, Sara, first thing I want to do is I want to do a quick little rapid fire between the two of us.
Sure.
What are some of those transitions we have in life? I mean, I think of obvious ones like marriage.
Right.
Or death of a loved one.
Yes.
Death of a pet.
True.
Okay, these are some transitions. Any other transitions you can think of?
Becoming a parent.
Okay, good.
That's a big one. Parenting your parents. Mm-hmm. It's currently
Boy,
where we're at right now.
Right? Yeah.
Moving is a big one.
Yeah.
Whether it be, different states, different countries, or even across the street. That's a tough transition.
New job,
yeah.
Okay. How about also going from a school to school or leaving high school and going into the next phase of your life? Those could be some of those transitions. And now, I wanted to do the live here and we talked about that because up behind us is a wall of just memories and photos of my family, and each one of these is a transition period. Even something as simple as going on vacation can be a transition in life because you're transitioning from one environment that you're in into another environment, and although it might be a small transition, it's in those moments where change can be difficult. Now, all humans, struggle with transitions. We struggle with change. And then people that deal with change differently, is really hard for them to really think their way through how that change can be. So I'd love to talk about a few stepping stones together of how to manage those transition points in your life. Stepping stone number one in my mind would be know when you're in a transition moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even recognize you're in that transition moment because life is just happening and it's happening fast to you. And so in those transition moments, first step is just really understanding that you're in the middle of it. Because sometimes you just don't recognize it.
Exactly. Stepping stone number two is also reaching out for some assistance, and that might be, of course, professional. Let's say you're going through a transition, like a divorce or a death, something that causes some trauma, and reaching out to a mental health professional. But then it also means maybe reaching out to a family member or a friend, even to help with some of the not highly emotional sides of the transition. I mean, if you're moving, you find somebody with a truck and help them move.
Sure.
Yeah. Or strong people.
Well, that would not be me. And I don't have a truck either. But you've always been a great transition period for me to help me as coaching in those parts of our life and when we deal with those things like that. So stepping stone number three that I'd like to add is make sure that you identify what good looks like for you. As you're in that transition moment, define up front, take a few minutes, reflect, and think about when I achieve or accomplish this transition in my life, what does good look like? How will I know I've arrived and have truly made the transition? And it's good to write that down. Okay, write down, so get out an index card and write down the index card, say, I will, I have, and I am. And fill in the statements, because once you've defined what the end destination of that transition looks like for you, you can see your progress more clearly in that phase towards that transition. So take some time to define it up front, because maybe you won't know you've arrived at that.
Right, exactly. And to kind of piggyback on that a bit, it's good to take notes just in general. So I'd say stepping stone, we're on 4, right? Stepping stone 4. To take good notes in general. Not necessarily just through the whole journey, but like, what's that to-do list? What are those things that you have to get done in that transition? And those can be definitely the tangible things, but sometimes it's the emotional things. How are you going to find some mindfulness and some wellness during that transition time of your life? How are you going to take some good mental breaks, and maybe even some physical breaks, to make sure that the transition goes as smoothly as possible?
Love that stepping stone. It's so huge just to know your limits. And know and recognize when you're reaching those physical, emotional limits in your life. Huge stepping stone in those transition times. And then, what am I, 5?
We're at 5.
Stepping stone E, okay, whatever that might be.
Always try to get a good 5.
Okay, so my 5th stepping stone that I'd like to suggest for people is set clear expectations with others. Now, with that, it's using a very powerful phrase of I need. Don't be afraid to say to others, sis, I need a little bit of grace in the next few weeks because I'm dealing with this. And clearly articulating what you need from the people that you love and interact with the most. Assuming that people just automatically know what you need is unrealistic, unless you've got some good mind readers around, which I haven't.
We don't. We're not related to them.
No. So being really clear about what those needs are in those transition moments, in those transition times of your life, is really important, because you need those people to support you in a certain way. And so recognizing what you need, but then clearly articulating what you need in those moments, I think is really important as well.
And to add to that, so 5A, you don't necessarily have to have a fixer, okay? When Sean says to me, I need, that doesn't mean that I need to fix things for him. I need to hear what he is saying. And there's a difference between that. If Sean were to say to me, I need a hug, okay, I can do that. I can provide a hug. But sometimes he might just say, I need someone to listen to me. I need someone to bounce some ideas off. And again, it's not fixing it. And not every problem can be fixed by someone else. A lot of problems have to be fixed by yourself.
And also recognize that it's human nature to want to fix things. So if my sister in my moments of transition is trying to help me by fixing the problem, and that's not what I need, then you can use a I don't need statement. I can say at that point, sis, I love you. And this is what's called a contrast. The tool is called a contrast. It's a don't do statement. I don't need you to help me fix this. I do need you to be present and connected with me in these moments. So you clearly define what you don't need, and then you define what you do need. Now the key to a contrast, though, in those moments, is don't put the infamous but in the middle of it. Don't say, I don't mean to be mean or rude, but, which means I'm going to be mean or rude. So leave that out. And just talk about, I don't mean this, and I do mean this, and what you need in those moments. So in these moments of transition in our lives, recognize again what you need, what good looks like, communicate to others around you what that means, and you'll find much more success. Finally, give yourself a break. Transitions are not meant to be easy. Okay? Change is built in periods of conflict or tension or stress in our lives. If it's too easy, maybe you didn't push yourself enough in those moments. So recognize that it's okay to struggle. It's not okay to keep it in yourself. It's not okay to take out on others around you when you're struggling. But it's okay to struggle, especially in these points of transition in your life.
And to communicate that. 3 powerful words. I am struggling. That's very powerful. And to be able to put it out into the universe and hear that, that's okay to say. That is okay to say. So, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, these tools of transitions in our lives are ever present for anyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone struggles in transitions. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Maybe you're getting that new job. Maybe you're becoming and getting a new version of your job with new responsibilities or other areas of your life that are changing that aren't professional. Maybe you're just having a change in housing. Any of these transition periods, recognize what you need, mm-hmm. recognize what good looks like, and recognize the impact of your relationships in those moments. Mm-hmm. Sarah, thanks for letting me be on your live.
Of course, I'm so glad. I always love it when we luck out to be with each other for these lives. This is always a highlight for me, and hopefully a highlight for you. So I'm so glad that you were able to join us for that. I also have to give credit. My nephew's the one that's behind the camera, so shoot out to Zachary. And I appreciate that. I know there's probably comments. We can't quite see it, but that's okay. I can follow up with those. I did want to just do a couple of housekeeping types of things that are coming up. I've mentioned this a couple times. Go to AUSM.org, Autism Society of Minnesota.org. Some great events coming up for autistic individuals. There's going to be the summit. And then I think our team is already signed up. We have a Looking Forward Life coaching team that is going to be at the puzzle contest. It's going to be Aunt Nelda, Sky, my son, and my husband. So,
bringing it on.
Exactly. And that's coming up in November, which is really exciting. Well, you see me here with my brother. Guess what's going to happen? Next week, I'm going to be with my daughter, and I'm going to be up in Montana.
In a different state.
Just kind of going out and around and doing all sorts of things. So I'm hoping to catch a live next week. I'll probably go back onto some of my scheduled talking points. But I really did enjoy having this opportunity to talk about transitions. So
Sarah?
Yeah?
I need a hug.
Aww.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.